Suicide hotlines in America have shown a drastic increase in calls due to the recent pandemic and people being stuck at home. And because of that, I think it's really important that we talk about what to do if your friend or family member is feeling suicidal. The topic of suicide can be a really overwhelming one for people that feel helpless and don't know what to do on either sides of the table, the ones who are feeling suicidal and the ones who feel helpless to help the ones who feel suicidal. Today I want to give you a few tips on how to help those people and make sure to help yourself in the process. The first thing to do is to not be afraid to ask. If you have concerns about somebody that you love who may be exhibiting symptoms or signs that they are feeling distressed or depressed to the point that they might not want to be alive anymore, don't be afraid to ask. There's a misconception that if we ask if someone feels suicidal, that's going to put the thought in their heads, and that is not true at all. You will do so much good if you are willing to make that space to question, hey, are you okay? I've noticed that maybe things haven't been the same with you. And I just wanted to know, are you feeling suicidal? However you want to ask the question, approach them with compassion. Don't be afraid to ask the simple question of like, what's going on with you? I've noticed things are a little bit off. I'm here to listen. Now, when you ask these types of questions, you have to be prepared for the possible answers you might get. Because somebody might very well say, yeah, I've really been thinking about ending things. And you need to hold on to yourself so that when they say that to you, you are not totally unraveled by it. Listen, I know it's scary when somebody is in that place of desperation and you feel so helpless. So make sure that you can hold on to yourself and your emotions when somebody replies to you with an answer that maybe you weren't really sure they were going to say or were hoping that they weren't going to say. And once they give you a response, listen. Don't try to fix, don't judge, don't shame, just listen. If they say, yeah, you know what? I have been feeling like I can't keep doing it like this anymore. I can't keep going like this. Phrases like that are implying, I want to die, but I don't know if I can communicate that to you. And I want to help you understand that oftentimes people don't really want to die. They just want the pain that they're experiencing to be over. So this feeling of being suicidal is not so much, I want to go kill myself in the most grotesque way possible. It's more about, I am so overwhelmed with my pain and suffering and heartbreak right now over whatever it is that I don't know if I can go another day. So when you hear someone trying to communicate that to you, please be compassionate and listen to them. Encourage them to unburden themselves if you are comfortable and if you feel like you can handle it. If you don't feel like you can handle it, then we've got resources for you and for them. This is not something where you are going to save them. You are not their savior. You're not going to fix all of their issues. You can't. You can't. And I want to release you from that burden right now. That is not what I'm asking you to do, and they should not be asking you to do that either. You're here to provide emotional support, whether you're a parent or a friend or a loved one of somebody who is really struggling and wrestling with this. Your job is to be available, if you can be, as an emotional support, nothing more. You get to point them to resources, and I'll get into that in a second, but the things that you can control are you. And that is being a safe place for them to vent their frustrations while redirecting them to actual help. The National Institute of Mental Health is one of the best places to get resources for suicide prevention. They have a whole list of signs and symptoms and things that you can look out for in the people that you love to see if they're meeting some of that criteria. Now, there's such a long list that there are so many different things that could be kind of red flags. But that doesn't automatically mean somebody is suicidal. And just because the signs and symptoms might not be there doesn't mean that they're automatically not suicidal. So really the best, most powerful thing you can do for your friends is just to ask, just to check in and say, hey, I want to make sure you're okay. Have you had any thoughts lately? Thoughts of dying, thoughts of being gone from this world? I want to be here to support you. Now, when a friend tells you that they have been feeling suicidal, after you've listened and shown your support, you can redirect them to some really good resources. The National Institute of Mental Health is a great one. There's multiple suicide hotlines that I'll post below. But your ability to help them get help is really what's going to be super helpful for them at this time. If you're the first person that they've told about how they feel, I want to honor you for that. You stepped in to fill a gap that was really necessary, and now you have the job to be their advocate. So you get to connect them with local resources, community members that might be able to help assist them in getting some more resources available if you're not sure what they need. That is a great way for you to connect them when they are so overwhelmed that they don't really know what to do. I'd really encourage you to check in with like local community resources. You can call your local Department of Mental Health. You can call your local police department and ask for, hey, what are some resources? What's your crisis team like? What are the mental health resources you would recommend for somebody who's feeling suicidal? And they might be able to redirect you to some local resources. I'd also suggest, if this friend or family member is not in any kind of therapy treatment, that you gently encourage them to get some help. They might not have the capacity to seek that on their own. You might be the one who helps them get on the computer, helps them call their insurance, helps them seek a therapist out, maybe even helps them make their first appointment. Not forcing anything, but gently encouraging, hey, I want to help you get help. Hey, what if we tried this? Hey, let me help you get to this appointment. That gentle encouragement will give them the strength to not feel so alone and to make those healthy decisions for themselves. Remember, you can't make them do anything. You cannot save them. You cannot control them. Nothing you are doing is going to be forceful. It's going to be an offering of encouragement and support. If they choose not to accept it, that is not your fault.